yet.
I didn't mean to do that.
Okay. Not yet. That's all. Not yet. That's not yet.
All right, so
That's not yet.
with our lesson, with our tradition, we typically start by saluting in. We put the mask under the offhand here. You'll stand with your feet together and your sword at your left hip. And everybody take a step back. There you go.
Just this line? Yeah.
Yeah.
So direct to the left.
Yeah, adjusting the line means you look at the person beside you and you line up. So Kevin's in charge of this line. Everybody adjusts themselves based on Kevin's position. And then Tanya's in charge of that line. So everybody just kind of lines up.
All you gotta do is look at the person next to you. As long as you can't see her, you're good.
And now we look so neat and tidy. It's wonderful. So we'll salute in. We have an 8-count salute. It allows us to cycle through all the hand positions, which is great practice. For now, if you've done it before, you've done it before. You can watch and we'll cycle through. We're not going to spend a ton of time breaking it down. But this is how I like to begin. So first you raise to point at your opponent. 1, and palm down. Now you raise it to your chin. 2, point at your opponent again. 3, back to your chin. 4, anyone on your inside. 5, and up. 6, anyone on your outside. 7, 8. So our first stand, now you can relax. So we're going to begin by talking a little bit about our teaching stance here. So everybody on this side of the line is going to be in a different position than the guard position. This is so you can teach all day long. You're a little bit more nimble with the way you move. So David, do you want to come over here and help me demonstrate? Our teaching stance is in a teaching stance, David is going to face the student. He's going to put both of his toes forwards. His toes, his knees, and his hips are all lining up. Okay, so he's going to be able to do this all day long. Now he can give nice microscopic changes of direction, right? So you go in, you go out, in and out. All right, and he can do that all day, right, David? So you can do that all
I
day?
can do this all day.
Yeah, so you're not, on the instructor side, you're not going to stand here all day long.
This is not a difficult position for me to stand in.
Okay, so the other part of how we traditionally have the instructors cue students is using a hand and a voice cue. When we do actions, what we call on command, which means on cue, where the instructor tells you when to go, this is the way we do it. David has his hand up like this. Stop. No, student, don't go. When he's ready, he'll turn the hand and say,
Yeah.
and then the student will lunge and hit David. All right? In terms of hitting, we want to see explosive lunges. We want to see a little bit of a bend in the blade. We don't want to see like kind of this nonsense here. Also, don't break your blade or bend it in half on him. Let's say David's giving me a lesson. I'm here in my guard.
Extend. Generally, somewhere in here is about where we want.
And you see how he's checking my
Recover.
Yeah.
So I use my hand also to tell, especially at this stage in the lesson, I use my hand to tell her to recover.
All right. So everyone on this side is going to start like this, toes pointing forward, knees a little bit bent, nice and comfortable. Left hand up like this to say, no student, don't go yet. When you're ready for your student to go, you turn your hand and say via, which is go in Italian. And they will lunge and hit you. So our first action is going to be, yeah, Eric?
You want to talk about speed and tone and cue?
Right, so it's a good idea. One nice thing about using the vocal command is you can vary it. If your student is pretty new, you don't think they're warmed up, you're going to take it slow. You're nice and easy, you'll be, okay? If you feel like they're being lazy, then you should say bia, okay? And you can add like a hup in there, bia, hup. Just really get them moving. All right, or if you feel like they can do more, they can be going faster. All right, so teaching side will be inviting in third, so holding the blade to the outside, opening up to the inside. In their teacher stance, when you're ready for your student to lunge, you'll say via, turn your hand, and they'll lunge
Sorry, in third. So you got it. That's where I'm at. All right. All right. All the way up. So you're.
Hopefully your instructor at some point, if you're not doing this, has said something to you about closure, which is great. So let's say I'm fencing with Brad here, he's inviting in third. When I lunge, my hand's gonna be palm up in fourth hand position, right? Everybody was doing that, it looked like pretty much. Great. So, next action is gonna be the same thing but on the other side. Now, I'm going to invite him forth. Whenever he gives me his command, I'll lunge, and my hand's going to be in second. All right? So same thing on the other side.
What?
All right. So now.
Here we go. Extend. In second. There we go. And V. Extend. V. Recover. And extend. V. Bend your elbow as you recover. Bend the elbow as you recover. Okay. You tend to bend your wrist down. I want the elbow to come down. Okay. Bend it, bend, 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 bend. You're still in third, still in third. Just let it, so still in the, so you're going to turn your hand from this position in the beginning to this position in the extension. Okay. What we're really doing is going to put the strong part of your blade against mine, but in the beginning you don't know where my sword's going to be. So only when you attack you change that position. Just for problems, just for right now, okay? So, you're going to tuck your elbow.
All right, so now we're going to rotate one down. So not Eric and Tony on the end, but starting with James, you're going to rotate clockwise one position, okay?
You want to stay here?
So, and then at the end of the line, so you'll go and take like this.
Thank you.
His
How
place.
comfortable are you? Do you think you're going to be?
I'm bad.
Okay, what?
I'm not very good at this.
Okay, then why don't you spool? No, like you can rotate through.
He'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
He'll be
You'll be
fine.
fine.
All right, cool.
Everybody shifting one position.
There we go.
Has everyone shifted one position?
Yeah.
Great. So this point in the lesson, your students they're doing a great job. They're going on command exactly when you want them to go. You're saying via. They're giving you a beautiful explosive lunge. They've got great closure. Their hand is not raised to a ridiculous place. Okay. So this
Here.
yeah.
Take again.
Right. So I'll lunge at you. So they're here, nice and protected, not like this, right? On the other side, they're not like this. So kind of straight out. So you're really happy with that, but you want to make it a little bit more like a vowel. You want to cue them using movement instead of using your voice. Okay? So the way that we can do that, we call this in time. When we cue using movement instead of using the voice and the hand. So to do this, Kevin will engage me in fourth. When he's ready for me to lunge, he's going to open to third. And it's okay if you want to still use the hand if you really want to get the extra. Sometimes we'll kind of put it on the hip. So let's kind of put it on the hip for now to step fewer moving pieces. So when he's ready for me to go, he'll open, and the student will lunge and hit. Now, it's important when your student's lunging and hitting, encourage them to try and get to you before you can get all the way into the next position. Okay? So you're inviting in fourth, you open all the way to third. Your student should be hitting you about here. Okay? They should be hitting you not like bump, bump, but bump. Make sense?
A quick word on the positions and some of the cues. So like if I'm facing Dory, especially at the beginning with a straight thrust, I want to make sure my engagement all the way out and closes the line. We'll talk more about this in a moment. When I open, I'm going to go all the way out so she's got room. If I give just a little bit, this is going to be different. She's going to start, she's not going to want to make that attack. Okay.
And it's important your movement is centered on your elbow, so you're moving from your elbow. You're not moving from your wrist like this to give the invitation. You're moving from your elbow. You're pivoting from the elbow.
Okay.
All right?
Recover signal?
What's that?
The recover signal when you're not using
So
your hand.
that's a great question. So how do you get your student to recover if you're not using your hand anymore, right? You're just wanting them to move at the appropriate time. So let's see that. David wants me to hit.
So I've got two things. So one, I'm going to hold my blade out here, and oftentimes, unless I'm doing something else and I've told her, she's going to hold this lunge. So one, I can just tell her recover, and then she's going to go. The other, as I get more into a lesson, I establish a rhythm where I relax, and then she goes.
So you see, David gently puts his blade against mine after I have hit to check my closure. He's not doing it before I hit, or it will be a parry,
Yeah.
right?
We can talk more about
And we'll
checking
talk more
closure.
about that, but one way is from releasing after you check closure, the other is just to say recover. And you can use a hand gesture for that. So if you're down here, you can.
So I have one more way that I like to cue the recovery. So I often like to do this, so she'll attack, and then I'll put pressure on the guard in a way that is unusual to cue the recovery. So if I push back, she recovers.
And that's especially useful if you want your student to recover with an engagement, which is something that we'll be doing more of tomorrow.
But that is the other way
So
we
yeah, good
use it.
question. Good question. All right. So from the instructor's engagement in fourth, the instructor will engage in fourth, open to third, and student will hit with a straight thrust. All right.
No? A little late. Please. There we go. Okay, so you're hitting approximately end. I want your lunge to begin as my blade comes down. So as I'm moving, you should start extending. Yes, yeah, that was it.
That is, yeah.
Right here. Right here. There, yes. Yes. Too late. Wait for it. There, yes. Yeah. Makes sense?
Yes,
Do you want, so you legs will kill you at the end of the day, so do you want more reps or not?
I'm happy for reps.
Okay, we're having fun. Okay. So we're gonna do this with, we'll have some fun with some On guard? Maintain distance.
Ball. All right, so now just fairly quickly do 3 or 4 from the other side. So now you're starting from engagement in third and opening to engagement in fourth. Same deal, but now I'm hitting palm down. Right? So same thing, other side. Just do 3 or 4, and then we're going to move to the next action. Okay. So from here on guard.
So same guard. So come on guard. There we go. No, so come on the right. So your guard last time was here. Because I'm engaging here, don't change. Make me move your sword as if I was fencing you. So your sword is here. I engage. Hup. There we go. Hup. So same target. So in this stance, if I was to profile, this target disappears.
Right.
So you're always going to hit here because if I'm fencing, this is the viable target. This target is missing. Okay. So you always want to be targeting this target. Plus, it's actually a better line. Hup. Okay, so hold the line. Hup. Hold line. I'm going to move something around here. So you tend to open this one a little bit, not that much, just a little bit. Okay?
All right, so before we move away from the straight thrust, let's talk about a few things you're looking for from that lunge. When you're having a student lunge, they're hitting with the straight thrust. Let's see what that
Wait,
looks
I
like.
have a great idea.
What?
Hey, Ben, can you show us a lunge?
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be all weekend.
Good. So hold that for a moment. So what all are we looking for here? So we want this back leg to be straight. We want the back foot flat on the ground. We want the front foot flat on the ground, pointed straight forward. We want the knee somewhere between the heel and the toe. I don't, it's lots of arguments over where and where. I don't really care as long as if it's not up to the heel, it's bad. If it's way past the toe, it's bad. Somewhere in the middle is good. Arm, sword arm is shoulder height, relaxed, it's not tense. Back arm, we like to have it about here. If we were French, it'd be down here. Doesn't really
But
matter.
we're not French.
We are not French. And recover.
One other thing though,
Sequencing.
before we
Oh,
move away
yeah.
from that, the tip, when you're hitting to get the bend the way that you want it to be, your student's tip should be level with or a little bit below their guard at the hip.
So, and we do this slope kind of just a little bit of a diagonal, so I think it'll be easier for kind of everybody to see. And if you need to see, so sequencing, what happens is he starts, his arm comes out first, his body follows, okay, and recover. Show me a back, right? So your body comes forward, and so at the end, he's punching out, right? We don't want that. If you need to, especially at the beginning of a lesson, we oftentimes will start, I'll say, okay, extend. So I make sure, and what I often do when I'm teaching is I look at this and I make sure his extension is the way that I like it. For instance, I like his extension just to be a little bit more out here, so there's more of an angle when he's in second. And then I see this, and now I have him go ahead and finish his lunge. And what Dory was saying is at the point where he hits, you want your tip to be just below your guard, and that lets you hit and get a bend. If I hit it and I'm straight out, all of this force goes into him, right? If I hit and I've got my tip out, it just makes a really nice bend, and that's the blade doing what the blade is designed to do and absorbing the force in the head. Okay? Do you want to practice that a couple times?
I noticed in footwork, and you did it excellently, I wanted to emphasize that the lunge is driven from the back foot. It's not,
Yeah, no fall,
Yes,
no fall.
right,
no
it's
lunges.
not a jump, it's not a lead with the front foot. The lunge is pushed off the back foot, and that's where all your power comes from. So you see this, from my fingertip to my foot, I mean, I just punched right through to the other side. But if it's this, everything is from the elbow forward, and though you will get a touch in fencing, in the martial arts context, it's not going to work.
Yeah, great point.
Do
Thank
you want to do a
William.
couple more of these or do it go straight to the straight front?
Let's actually rotate
Okay.
and start with the disengagement.
Okay.
So, one more.
Okay, rotate.
Kevin? Okay.
All right, I got mixed up, thanks. Okay.
All right, so our next action is a disengagement. Every lesson that we do starts with a straight thrust and a disengagement, pretty much, always. We also like to do a glide after this, as you will see. For the disengagement, it's really important that you're still pivoting from the elbow, as you were when you were opening for the invitation before. In the disengagement, see, I'm not wearing a mask, so you can be the instructor here. All right? David's engaged me. He's got a nice straight line from his elbow to the tip of his blade. The tip of his blade is outside of my rear shoulder. It's a good
I have
engagement.
completely removed her target, her blade from my target. So
I'm not tempted to do
yeah.
any shenanigans here, like this.
This is not a strong engagement, right? So it's going to be all the way out.
He's using his true edge, moving to the outside. Now when he's ready, he can say via. And I'm going to disengage and lunge. And what you want from your student is for that disengagement to be mostly fingers, a little help from the wrist. So they're dropping down, they're coming up into a V. If a V were three-dimensional and kind of spiraling forward a little bit. We like to say spiral, but right here it's more like a V that goes forward though.
People tell me I should say helix.
A helix? Okay, so it's like a helix. Okay, so this time, depending on your student, who you're working with, everybody begin on command. Say via, have them hit you. Disengage with the disengagement, all right? Depending on your student then, you can move to doing it in time. So the way that it looks like in time is you begin inviting in the opposite line. So inviting in four, have your student in a central guard here. For our central guard, we have the blade about parallel to the floor. We have a very extended rapier guard. Our arm is almost straight here. So this is your student's central guard. You should try to engage her blade,
I'm gonna attempt to engage as I do that. She's going
and
to
your
make
student
it.
should not, there shouldn't be blade contact. So everybody begin doing a couple on command, then, if your student seems comfortable, do some in time. Make sense? All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then the initial action, the instruction
B. Hup.
engagement is
In segunda.
So
No, so be neutral, yeah, be correct, and then when you go in second. B. There we go. B. Hup. Go. B. Up on this side now. No. So let me take. We move. B. Yes. B. Good. One more. B. All right. On, in time.
because it lets me engage the fingers in the rest of the
So when you hit, especially in puerta, don't let your point turn in like that. Keep the blade straight just over towards the shoulder. Okay? So let's do some more puerta here. Yeah, so I can't counter it. Yeah, that's much better. Go. Go. Okay, with mobility.
Only go as fast as you can.
With mobility. Wait, hold on, back.
What's the command?
So with mobility. Same cue, but with mobility.
There you go, good.
So no, I don't hit you. So don't let me get close. You want to be at your distance, and I will cue, and you attack. Back up. There we go. Forward and go. I'm not giving you too much of that. We'll do more later.
There it is, good. Two more.
Little close. Watch it. You go too close. Don't let it. You want to be very careful getting too close.
We're going to rotate one position and do the same thing on the other side. All right?
Sorry.
So we're gonna do the same thing, do the other side.
Rotate. Oh, we rotate.
Yeah, rotate
Rotate
one
first.
position.
There we go. So let's get the arm there, arm extension. So you're tucking your arm pretty far back. Attack like this. Oh!
Make sure your student isn't over lunging. They're not falling in. They're not running too far. They're able to spring back lively and gracefully like a panther into their guard position. But also, you should be able to step away from them without having them fall over, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, go ahead.
So, I think this is a good place to talk about how we set distance as an instructor, okay? So, let's say I'm working with Dory, and I set her up here to do a straight thrust, and I want her to lunge, okay? No, give me the kind of lunge that you would do if I normally stand, right? So, no, like, give me just a really short lunge. So if I stand really close to her, she can't actually make a good lunge, right? Because she doesn't want to go all into me. Now because she's worked with me, she knows that she should lunge, and so then I'm making a bad mistake. So when I stand too close, my student can't make a good lunge. If I stand back at a proper distance, now she can lunge, okay? She's going to give me this full attack. And I want to make sure that whenever I work with somebody, I've set a distance, and oftentimes finding that distance is going to be really different. So it's different for James than it is for Tanya, right? It's oftentimes how it is.
Interrelated, if you're setting the distance too far, that might also be causing your students to fall over. So just keep an eye out. Some people have more flexible hamstrings.
Now, another aspect of this is that some people will lunge, and they'll have a dynamic, explosive lunge that's going to carry them forward, okay? And what I do as an instructor is I have to figure out how to compensate for some of this. So say, give me just lunge and let your foot kind of like pull you forward a little bit. So go really far out, okay? And recover. So she's going to give me that big lunge. I know what's going to happen. Now, I might make some corrections, like I don't want you to slide your foot we can have a whole other conversation about that. But I have to deal with this, right? I have to deal with a student that is going to give me a pretty big dynamic lunge. So what I often do is I still want to start at a good distance. And the easy way to check in most cases that it's a good distance is she's on guard and I extend my blade and I'm just in front of her guard. This is a decent place to start. When she's in a good guard, this is probably a good place to start. If she gives me a lunge from here, just a normal lunge, that's about right, okay? Now, if I find myself where she's making a really big lunge, I'm going to step back a little bit, okay? So I step back, I receive the hit, I can absorb this. This is how I can teach, sometimes without wearing a chest protector because I'm used to the rhythm and I can absorb the hit as it's coming in. Is there anything else that I missed?
So-
No, let's.
Yeah.
I want one more comment about doing the foot back thing.
Yes.
Be very careful when you do it because many students will want to keep going bigger. So you have
Right.
do not get caught in the feedback loop where they're getting bigger and bigger lunges and you're like sneaking back and their lunges are on their face. Be very
Yeah,
careful
so
with that.
one thing that when I step back this way, I only do it after she started her lunge, okay? So if I do it before she started her lunge, oftentimes then her lunge is the wrong thing to do, right? Because it's like, well, if she sees that I step back before she starts, well, she should take another advance and follow me, or she should do something else. So this is an adjustment step that happens mid-lunge. Oftentimes it's nice because it actually even simulates somebody that's trying to retreat out of the hit, and you're catching them. So that's not a bad
We can
thing.
talk more about footwork and distance management, I think, as we continue.
Yes.
So for
let's
now, everybody's got a new partner, right? We're doing.
I have a question on
Yeah.
lunge. It seems like a lot of the lunges are coming out more like sort of classical Italian point. Whereas with rapier, I've been trained to first of all start much
Okay.
more backloaded, transfer the weight. I mean, lean.
Yes.
So you guys have a preference? Yeah, I
So
wanna
that's
make sure I
a,
don't
really,
wanna-
that's a really good question. I'll talk a little bit. So one, most of the early 17th century texts show a nice rear-weighted stance. Even when I lunge from here, I like to do this as smoothly as I can, okay? I don't like a 1-2. So my shifting forward happens as I'm extending and it follows out. Even in earlier texts like Caprofero, you also see a guard that just starts from here, so you don't have to do that kind of transfer, but he still keeps the hip back.
That's
Yeah.
first on body, then
Yeah, and so he still keeps the hip back a lot of times in his guard. Now, from a teaching perspective, and I'll just freely admit my own bias, I really like a center stance. And I find that oftentimes it's easier to learn that way. It's easier to teach that way, and if I do this, it's not that hard to switch. I like it for mobility reasons and for teaching purposes. Eventually it kind of switches within the Italian tradition, but you're right, most of the earlier rapier texts show a bit more of a rear-weighted stance.
And we can probably
Not-
talk more about
yeah.
that.
So I think that for the sake of the lunge specifically, I made the comment that I think that it's smooth. So if you're going to find the sword in quota, then you might make the guard transition into the extended guard as part of the finding action. But if you're just going to lunge in first intention, it should be a smooth transition into that position and not a stopping point.
right,
yeah.
because it's just
So-
a stopping point.
Yeah, but I think that for the sake of this, we have a bias and it shows.
No, I just, okay, so I consider how you want the teacher to behave, but I'm not entirely sure as a student, should I?
Do what you want to do.
Do what you're comfortable with.
Just one comment to remember that we said earlier on, you're gonna use your own teaching in your own school to teach how you wanna do this. This is just basically, we're showing you, okay, this is how we're gonna do this, our stance, screw that stance. Start from back here, start from down here if you wanna do it there. So it's based on your teaching.
Thank you for the clarification.
Okay.
Alright, so, does everybody remember what we're doing? Everybody's got a new partner?
All right, on guard?
Yeah, so you're doing the same thing from the other side, and this time, if you didn't do it,
Sí.
in time before, do it in time.
So in
this
quota.
time, Alright?
So hand
if
turns
you
up
do first engagement
in the
at
fourth as you
full
hit.
engagement, do 2 or 3
Yeah.
on command, and then.
And I want a smaller disengagement.
Disengagement.
And just hit me. So no, wait, just hit me. Use the position of the weapon.
Engagement, by disengage.
Yeah. And I know this is going to be a try for you all weekend. Don't bend your arm.
Attack coverage. On command, yes. On guard, laying in line,
Hit me first.
and
Three. Yes, better. Three.
I'm sorry.
Hit me. So right now, you change lines, you touch my sword, and then you lunge. In about that order. I want to see you as you free your blade, and as soon as your blade is not behind my sword anymore, your lunge begins. So that there's a constant forward pressure. Okay?
Can you tempo this time?
Yeah! And then you get way faster. Better. Nope. You want to touch my sword first. Yeah, better. Yes.
Neutral guard.
That makes sense? Yeah.
It's actually something I've been working on in my own country.
Like, just hit me. Don't ruin my sword. Okay, cool. I'm going to do some of that. Both lines. So we'll do this in time. So as I attempt to engage, disengage it in time. Okay? I'm done?
Good. Your heels are starting to drip.
So with that, don't step forward. Only one focus. Just the line, no advance.
Sorry,
Huh?
that was me. I got caught on that. Now me too.
And I want to see more over and less. And hold the line.
And
Alright, so we're gonna do one more action, then we're gonna take a quick break for water. The next action we're going to do is the glide. As I said, every weapon that we do within our system, we typically start straight thrust, disengagement, glide. There are building blocks. They represent pretty much everything you're going to do with your sword, one way or another. So for the glide, we'll begin on command, like we've been doing. So the instructor is going to present a nice straight arm. Your elbow's not locked, but your arm is up and straight. So you be the instructor because you're wearing a mask. Your student will engage, give you a nice engagement. Actually, let's do this in third. Yeah, in third. Okay. When you're happy that your student's elbow is lined up with their tip, they're not here. They're the outside of your shoulder that comes out here. Then you'll turn your hand and say via. They'll extend and lunge. For this one, you may end up tangled up in their guard. If you do end up tangled up in your guard, probably your measure is off or your student is not extending before they lunge. So think about troubleshooting those things. All right, well, let's stay with the same partners for now. You're going to see that in your Sure.
How might this be all remembered?
So if you have a vast difference in height, always calibrate to the student, and then use your footwork as the instructor to make up for it. So let's say James and I are doing this. James knows I'm a lot shorter than him. He's going to set up to my distance. He'll extend his arm. We'll have me engage in third. He's going to come out at his shoulder height and use his fingers to drop down kind of to my vita, my center point a little bit. I'll engage here. When he wants me to go, we'll say via. And it'll still work. Calibrate to your student, make the sword come to where it makes sense for them to get a good engagement here.
So they still begin at shoulder height, they just adjust so
No.
the target.
Right, so your arm should always be at shoulder height. You can easily use your fingers and your wrist to move the sword up and down. You don't want to be like here for somebody short and up here for someone tall.
So
Good question.
I have a really,
We could talk about it over the water break.
I have a disagreement on doing.
Okay,
Right. I
okay.
think that it's I would
Let
much
them
rather
do
than drop the arm than
Let them do like 5. We can talk about that over the water break. All right?
Yeah, so play off like a game.
No.
So your engagement in four, attack by fly.
Engage. Fourth.
Sorry, on command.
So I want to see elbow. So right now, he's doing, I want to see
I'm used to verbal. I know. Yeah, medium.
engage. See.
So engage.
Right here. Engage. You cover, wait for the command. Engage.
Engage.
See. Cover. Engage. See. Cover. Arm first. Engage. See.
Engage.
Shutter. Engage. Feet. Good. No, you're good. You're good. I'd like to see the point come online a little earlier. So if you do these extensions, you have to put extensions all those times away. A little bit before, but I want to see the arm come out early. Engage. Feet. Yeah! And then I can't push through. Engage. Feet. Yes. So as I push, I get stuck. Engage. Feet. Yes. There we go. Much better. One more time. Engage. Feet. Shake out that arm. Okay. In time, as I extend, one. Oh, never mind.
Okay, so we're gonna take a quick break, like 5 minutes. We're gonna try to do these every half hour or so throughout the day, so just be mindful of that and be snappy. So go to the bathroom, get water if you need it. Come back here, we'll do a little bit of talking at the end of the break to talk more about mechanics. All right? Don't feel like you have to write down every single action that we're doing, because I'm happy to send you just a file with all the actions in it. But if anything knows, this is a good time. All right? So put down your mask and your sword, so you remember where you are.
No, when I'm doing it.
By the way, so compared to remember you last year, that was a lot better. Like, yes! We can do fun stuff.
Surgically rebuilt my
So I never want to do constant engagement to a highline because now the lines are placed parallel and you can't engage to go to color.
That's the instructor.
Well, engagements books, they would cross it. So I want to. I know. So doing the setting up the highline.
Does he drop? He dropped.
You drop the down. That's just cross. It's really awesome. And when it's very slow, it's not even so you just don't. Yeah, I even say don't worry.